Hey Stinky, Jorge and me are working on a new lab experiment, and the question is, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Neither.
Neither wasn't an
What
option.
the hell, bro?
Yeah, I know. This is called a two-alternative forced choice question. And as long as there's only two choices on the page, the right answer is not going to be in there. It's like doing a math test in multiple choice, right? And the question is 2 plus 2, but the right answer is not amongst those given in the multiple choice answers. And it's another one of these games, or tests rather, that the ancients used to use, right? And what they do is they give you a question, which came first, the chicken or the egg, and the right answer is not on the list. That's the test. You got to know there's more answers than those two.
Look, we've scoured the academic literature, Stinky. Darwin said things evolved. So what we're looking for is which evolved first, the chicken or the egg.
No, I get the point that you're making, Jorge. Epigenetic research has clearly shown that DNA can change under stressed conditions. That much is clear. But don't mistake adaptability with evolution. Evolution assumes that things get more complex, and that's not what they found with epigenetics. And so that would be the real failure in your effort here. Don't mistake adaptability for evolution. The big question is who came up with the idea to adapt?
What do you mean who came up with the idea to adapt?
Okay, Jorge, so consider for a moment that you're a robot, and in the factory, your heart is that GCP2 right next to you. And on that GCP2, there are 4 random number generators. And every minute, they are flipping heads and tails hundreds of thousands of times. But what's the one thing they can't do? Something different.
Don't be cheeky. The GCP can do something different. It can change the patterns of the lights. It can do X's, and it can do 3x3s and 2x5s. It can do all sorts of different patterns. It can do spinning. It can change colors.
Exactly. It can change the colors and it can change the patterns. But what is it that changes the colors? What is it that changes the patterns? And the answer to that is human consciousness. Ergo, human consciousness must be the source of the patterns.
And if only human consciousness can create patterns in the GCP2, then that would mean...
Bingo. Human consciousness is the source of all patterns. We are creativity. We are the source of the seed of life. The machine can only flip randomly. We humans can set the pattern.
But what about the creatures in the deep sea, right? Humans never saw those patterns until recently. How were those created?
Yeah, they're just fractals of all the life on planet Earth. They were just under a higher degree of pressure. The oceans, especially the deep oceans, are like Schrodinger's box, right? Except when we open it up, the question is at the bottom of the oceans, are we going to find life or no life? And the answer is we found a ton of life. And that life is just a fractal of all other life. And from that seed of life, the machine fractally created all life around us.
So what you're proposing is that the post-apocalyptic world represented so much chaos that anything was possible when the box was finally open, when the dream became real.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. It's the double slit experiment writ large. The human consciousness is like the unobserved double slit. Not only did all the electrons go through one side or the other side or both sides and leave an interference pattern, when the Earth was solidified in creation, this was the pattern that solidified into our current state. Anything could have been there. Globally.
Hold on. The Israelites wandered in the desert for 40 years, and Noah floated around for 40 days. One's desert and one's water, but is there possibly a link?
Nailed it. And nowhere is this more evident than in the Wallace Line of Indonesia, right? South of the Wallace Line, you have a completely different type of species of animal and plant and everything than you have north of the Wallace Line. And that's because these represent waves of probability of what was there, which then manifested based on its place in the electrical circuit. And I mean all life. And so Ergo, we're back to the question, which came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is neither. The idea came first, and the chicken and the egg manifested into the new reality at the same time. Listen, man, you have no idea how important we are to the equation.
So the Noah story is just describing the wave of probability collapsing across the earth. And in that area, it was wet.
Yeah, in this case, 40 has its own distinction of reality, but the 40 days and the 40 years are essentially the same. One was 40 days of water, and one was 40 years of desert. But they're both part of the same emergence of human consciousness into the matrix, into the simulation. And again, it's a description of where they were in the circuit when that happened. You ever heard the story of Plato's cave?
Yeah, guys chained to a wall, only seeing shadows of reality.
Yeah, shadows, dream world. We lived in the shadows of a dream world, and all we really saw were shadows of the reality that was possible. And so Plato's cave talks about us emerging from a cave into the light of reality that was created around us.
Oh yeah, the Jicarilla Apache creation story tells the exact same story as Plato's cave. The tribe is led out of the cave and into reality.
A lot of people call us Hazani, the people that emerge.
It relates back to the original emergence story, our creation story, on how we came to be. At one time, there was nothing.
Since the beginning of time, I could tell you that we lived under in the dark.
We came from the underworld.
There's a lot of stories of that, of how we came from the underworld.
Yeah, the Native American narratives on the creation story are some of my favorite. Not only were the Jicarilla led out of a cave and into existence, but some of the mythology talks about there having been a flood, and that after that flood receded, they were able to inhabit the land and begin creation, begin how they would exist and live.
So neither the chicken or the egg came first. The idea came first, and reality emerged with both of them already fully formed when we opened the box.
Yeah, dude, listen, there's a reason that we love Easter eggs. Easter eggs are the idea that when the simulation finally collapsed into reality, there were all sorts of fractal things that we didn't even know would exist. And so they were like discovering Easter egg after Easter egg after Easter egg. Think of how important it was to discover there were things called freshwater fish, and they were already populating the lakes. I mean, that's magic. But it's really just part of how we don't understand the nature of reality.
I might have a stroke over that last one.
In fact, you could almost say that this world is a world you could only dream of. Huh?
I see what you did there. Clever.
Yeah, clever stuff. Did you guys know that my grandpa came over on the Ark? Oh, hey, little guy. What are you?